What's up, everybody? We're all books, no brains, and we're coming back.
And the reason it's called that is because we're all books and no brains.
Yeah, our brains are just filled with literature and fantasy fiction, sci-fi literature at that.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
You guys, what do you think about the hashtag fantasy? We're trying to start something new here because sometimes, and I've been getting a lot more of the romance fantasy, the rom fam of the fantasy.
They be calling it cliterature.
Yeah, I thought when we started making some book talks and getting and injecting and helping ourselves to the book talk community, that I would be amongst a mature group of adults, and I didn't know that. No, more of the same, fantasy, cliterature, you name it.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, respect.
All good. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by us, and we're going to be talking about one of our favorite series of all time, the Red Rising Saga, and we're going to be ranking our favorite books. We have two very different lists, I think, and we're going to be discussing on why we are placing each book where.
So, as of right now, there are 6 books out in the Red series, in the Red Rising series. It starts off with Red Rising, then Golden Sun, then Morning Star, which is the original trilogy.
Oh, you can't.
But Pierce Brown said, no, enough is never enough.
Oh, I'm making buku big money.
And then wrote 3 more, which went to Iron Gold, Dark Age, and then Lightbringer. So that's the 6 books that are out right now. The 7th book due out maybe sometime next year, 2026.
Hopefully. Please, Mr. Pierce Brown.
I'm not even in a rush. If it's 2027, I don't even care. 2028, I don't want to wait that long. But if he takes an extra year and it just makes it chef's kiss, if he's able to close out the entire series the way he was able to close out the original trilogy,
fire,
I will be happy with that. I would rather him take his time and deliver an exceptional product.
Yeah,
because
leave that Game of Thrones shit. Fucking
did he fuck it up? Did he fuck it up?
No, he's just never gonna finish it. He's gonna die before he finishes it. Is what people are saying.
Yeah, but I have way too much riding on the conclusion of this series emotionally. For my well-being, my mental and emotional well-being, for my family's well-being. Pierce, I've got an 8-year-old daughter at home. If you fuck this up, she'll be the one to pay. I'm just joking. Seriously, though, I need this to go well. Red God, definitely the most anticipated book that I've ever... this series, I've never been so invested and so involved in loving something so much and then having to wait for the books to come out. So, I'm. Yeah.
It's we were talking about it earlier, how when we're making book content, you can make a video on Red Rising or a video on Golden Sun. No, you could literally make infinite amount of videos on this series as a whole from every single angle. It has everything. I don't understand how people hate on it.
What doesn't it have?
Yeah, I mean
insertion. It doesn't have specific.
Yeah, it's not smutty.
Yeah, it doesn't have specific insertion, but it does have enough. Because I was thinking about this. I was thinking about my girlfriend and one of my sisters. My little sister prefers to read the romance novels, which obviously is a huge audience. I've never read a romance novel, but then I was thinking about every good story has a romantic aspect to it. Romance, love story is human story.
Yep.
That is a part of all of our lives. We're all looking for love in one way or another, or affection. And having that gone, it makes it less relatable. Having it in there, however much to what degree, is up to you and how freaky you are and how wet you are. But if you want a little bit, of course it's going to be in there because it's love story is a human story.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just started thinking about this on my reading journey.
Don't hurt yourself.
But thinking too hard, Bob. But when there's not a romantic subplot in a book, like even a minor one, it just doesn't feel like the story is real. Like I'm not getting enough out of it. And every book that I do like has a romantic subplot. The books that we're like, oh, that was good, typically don't have one.
Think about this.
Crazy.
Even at the end of every Disney movie, kiss the girl. You know, the princess and the princess. Or think about almost like I'm thinking about like the stereotypical super career-driven protagonist, female protagonist wants to dedicate herself to, fuck trad wife. I'm gonna make my own way, get a good job, work my way, blah blah blah. There's always a underlying, her friends are pressuring her to go out on a date, give this guy a try, trying to hook her up, trying to set her up. Same thing. Or like wondering why, you know what I mean? So it's like a constant theme of we all want love, but there's nothing more human than wanting to fall in love. And Red Rising, I think, does this well. It definitely keeps you interested to where these people, the characters in this book, specifically our protagonist Darrow, is on not only a world-changing mission, on a damn solar system-changing mission involving, or excuse me, impacting billions upon billions of lives. And he's still dealing with emotions in his heart and falling in love and stuff.
Yeah, the very beginning of the book, the entire story, Darrow's entire arc is based on love. Like that's how it snowballs. He was content to be just a dude, just a regular dude, and eat shit like the rest of us, and then, love.
It's incredible what he was willing to do, especially when you're a young man. I felt it firsthand, the stupid shit that we'd be willing to do on some immature ass love, and that's sort of where he starts in Red Rising.
Yeah,
the lengths that he's willing to go to. There was a powerful quote from the book that I've got another friend. I got put another friend on. Desi started reading it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Nice. So our friend Desi started reading Red Rising, and he said a quote that stuck out to him early on was something about the fucked up culture within the mind, which is where the story starts off. Of Darrow and his love interest Io, which not keep in mind, but just so you're aware, they have to get married and start procreating when they're very young. So I think they're like, he's 16 and she's 14.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But they're married. They're
on some medieval ass shit.
Yeah. But they're husband and wife, they're married. He's only been in love with her his whole life. And he said something about the lines, because they literally don't have enough food and basic living stuff. And he said, without her, or he said, if she doesn't have me, God damn it, I want to get this right because it was a good one. If I don't have her, I don't live. If she doesn't have me, she doesn't eat, or something like that. I'm gonna find it. I will find it.
There's some fire ass quotes, dude. I've seen, just like yesterday, I saw a girl started reading Red Rising, and she like posted a quote and was like crying from the beginning of Red Rising where he was talking about Io, and she was like, I didn't know this had romance like that, because I don't think Pierce Brown gets enough credit for his prose and dialogue.
Yeah,
like there are so many quotes about love and loss and war and revenge and anger that just stick out, and on almost every single page. It's incredible. But let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go from bottom up. Least favorite, because none of these books are bad. Least favorite.
Keep in mind, these books, it's not a ranking of how good we thought the book were. I say we just rank it on how much we liked it. Mm-hmm. Our least favorite to our most favorite. Keep in mind, our least favorite still being very much liked.
Yeah.
Very much liked. So 1 through 6, starting at number 6 of all the books that are out right now in the Red Rising series, Kyle, what do you think takes that 6th spot?
My 6th spot is Iron Gold.
Okay.
And I think that's a common consensus with most of the Red Rising community. And it was purely because I think it was because I took a very long break in between after the first trilogy and then starting Iron Gold. Iron Gold switches up the structure of the book. It introduces multiple POVs, where the first trilogy is pretty much, I think, exclusively Darrow.
Yeah.
It's only Darrow's POV. So you're adding new characters, and there's a 10-year time skip. And you're adding new characters, and you're adding multiple POVs. And when I was getting back into Red Rising, I was like, who are these people? I only want to know what Darrow, like what he's up to. So I was like, because there was a long gap, I wanted to get back to what Darrow was doing, and I wasn't getting that. But then by the end of the book, I was A-okay with it, because Dark Age and Lightbringer, they do the same exact thing, multiple POVs, and they're phenomenal books. So I think Iron Gold's a victim of circumstance.
Okay.
Which, is what it is.
Kyle, you ignorant slut. Couldn't be more wrong. Spoiler alert, for my ranking list, Iron Gold is number 1.
God damn.
Iron Gold is number 1. And I'm going to get into, for all of the reasons that you just addressed, is my number 1. But we'll get into that when I get there. So that was a spoiler for my ranking list. I would say my number 6 is the only book that had any even somewhat slow parts to me. and that is Morning Star. Oh, and just in case we haven't said this already, this entire video is going to be full of spoilers. We're going to be talking about all 6 books that are currently out in the Red Rising Saga right now, and I was explaining where they fall into the ranking from our least favorite to our most favorite. So yeah, book number 3, Morning Star, was the conclusion, the wrap up of his original trilogy. And at this point in time, Darrow is on a quest to go to the poles of Mars and rally the Obsidians, which are the fucking... So the Greys are like soldiers. The Obsidians are... I don't even know how to describe them other than soldiers. They're fucking massive elite fighter beasts, specifically raised on the poles of Earth and Mars.
Genetically engineered,
8 foot tall, 300 pound, Viking-esque Norse mythology religion, strong religion because they're so isolated. But also just a Spartan-like culture of warriors. So these motherfuckers are the gangsters, and they are absolutely necessary to throw any sort of rebellion simply because of their might. So in book number 3, Morning Star, Darrow goes to the poles of Mars and is attempting to rally. He's taken it upon himself to say, we have to go get the Obsidians. If we don't get the Obsidians, we're never going to succeed in overthrowing Gold Rule. And I felt like on that journey had incredible parts. Don't get it twisted. And especially at the end of Morning Star, Pierce Brown is able to wrap up everything and the story up to that point perfectly. But I feel like that is the only book, in my opinion, that had some slow parts.
Yeah, I mean, Morning Star is on the lower end of the books for me, on the lower half. So I agree with that. But for me, my next book is Red Rising in 5. And even though I loved Red Rising, and it's literally what put me on to the series, I felt like it was too one-dimensional. He goes to the school, he does the school thing, and that's it. And where these other books take you from this school academy setting to a solar system story, the story immediately explodes. And I'm realizing as we're talking about this, it's hard to give discourse on your book if it's not where my book is.
Yeah.
So you said Iron Gold 1, I said Iron Gold 5. I can't really talk about that without the entire list.
That's all right. Yeah. That's all right.
But anyways, so I'm just going to go Red Rising 2, Morning Star 3. So now we're here caught up. And Morning Star does have some slower parts, but I thought that the way that he wrapped it up and the romance, I think that's probably like the most heavily romanced book as far as Darrow and Mustang and they're like how things are playing out. And I thought that was dope. That wasn't something I was expecting from the first book and the second book. I wasn't expecting it to play out like that.
Yeah.
And that just hit me hard.
Because she's on the poles with him. They're doing it together. They're getting drug into this.
And there's a lot of tension. Like he thinks she hates him for like the entire book.
Yeah.
And that is not the case.
It's not the case at all. My number 5 might be a Red Rising 2. Let me see what I wrote down. Because it's between 2 of them. Yeah, I had Red Rising at number 5 as well, which is the first book of the series. And I think that...
sucks because it does have some of my most favorite moments from Darrow in that book. But I think when you take it as a whole and compare it to the others, it's just a little one-dimensional.
Absolutely. I think that what Kyle's saying is exactly correct. I think this is a trope in sci-fi and fantasy that I wasn't aware of because Red Rising is the first book I've read as an adult. I'm gonna be straight up. So Kyle was like, you need to read this book. It's pretty good. And I was like, dude, I don't read. He said, read it. I was like, all right, I'll do it. But it's the sort of school main protagonist going into a school or academy type setting. And, for exposition reasons, it's incredibly powerful because he's getting, as the character is learning all about stuff, we as the reader get to learn about all that stuff. So there's really only 2 settings for this book, which is Red Rising, the very first book of the series. It starts off in a mine with Darrow and his subjugated, enslaved people, and he escapes the mine and goes out into this world that he didn't even know existed. And for the rest of the book, he is at this institute among his enemies, infiltrating and doing his best to take over. So we get to learn a lot about the world, and obviously it's a very good book because we both decided to read the rest of the series after this first book. But I feel like, and it does an excellent job of having incredibly powerful quotable moments
Mm-hmm.
and sets you up for wanting to read the rest of the story. But once you realize how good the rest of the series is, makes it pretty low.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I read the book cover to cover in one sitting, like 6 or 7 hours. I sat there and read because it was that good, and we put it at 5.
They don't call you 9-inch Kyle for nothing.
It's true.
Yeah, one sitting. It still took me. It probably took. I don't even remember because it was so long ago. It probably took me weeks because I'm so.
I gave you the book for you to take on vacation. You were like leaving in a couple days. I was like, here, take this, read this while you're on vacation, and you read it, and then went and bought the other 2.
Oh yeah,
before you went on vacation. So you read it relatively quick.
I did read it quickly, and then I finished Golden Sun and Morning Star on that vacation. That was only 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was flying through.
He was cooking.
I was cooking. That goes to our.
So what do you have at 3? Because I already spoiled them. Said I had Morningstar.
Okay, so here's my ranking. At 6, I've got Morningstar. 5, I've got Red Rising. 4. This is gonna piss some people off because this is a lot of people's number 1 book in the entire series, and that's Lightbringer for me.
Ooh, Lightbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Lightbringer a lot.
Yeah. So Lightbringer is the 6th book of the series, and it's the latest book that came out, and it was very good. And like I'm saying, even trying to say like anything bad about it, it was very good. But I just feel like it wasn't as powerful as my top 3.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as powerful. It was still a very good book. I think from the original trilogy into especially Lightbringer being the 6th edition, Pierce Brown got much better at prose and epicness and writing and the just fluidity of how the story plays out. And he had already finished and completed 2 books with the changing POV. So I feel like he had that mastered, the pacing mastered. And
yeah, I think I ranked Iron Gold lowest because of the switch of the POV structure. But I think going forward, like the reason why the next books are so good is because he did make that switch, because having multiple perspectives essentially is telling multiple stories at one time.
yeah.
And it makes it feel larger. Instead of being here with one character, you're here and you're here and you're here and you're here with all these characters. And it just, the grandness of the space opera just feels much more massive.
Yeah. Because you literally have people on different planets. You have literally people on different planets, different parts of the solar system, and how the story that is literally solar system wide and affecting billions of people. And you get to see these different storylines weave together, and you can see them sometimes start to come together. Oh, it's like, oh, this is where that character is going to see that character, and then collide, and the stories overlap, and it's beautiful.
Yep. So you put Lightbringer at 4. I did Morningstar 4, which I put Lightbringer at 3.
Yeah.
That's in my top 3. And I think I really wanted to put Lightbringer higher, like 2 or 1. But the next 2 books are just so good. You can't. I mean, Lightbringer. I fell in love with Cassius.
Yeah.
As a character, and he might be my favorite character, even over Darrow. Just the way
in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because Darrow comes from nothing. He's oppressed, and he like grows and has some very good character development. But it's easy for somebody who's at the bottom to kind of try and climb to the top and change things. And for Cassius, he was inherently never evil. He was always a good person within his frame of reference. And I think it's incredibly powerful for somebody to be at the top that has everything to then understand, oh, this isn't the right way, and to change his mind and change his, his fundamentally what he grew up and was indoctrined into, and change for the better. I think that's like a way tougher thing to do than to be at the bottom and see that the things aren't right and then go and change them.
That's an incredible assessment, dude. I never even thought about that aspect, and that makes me appreciate Cassius that much more.
Yeah.
Darrow has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
His people are literally enslaved, going hungry, fighting every day. Every day their job of mining is life and death.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have anything to lose to try to overthrow everything. Cassius has everything to lose. Not only is he the son of an incredibly powerful family, arguably the second most powerful family on Mars, or the second most powerful family on Mars,
yeah, and still one of the most powerful families in the solar system.
In the entire solar
top
system.
5.
Yeah, in the entire solar system, rich beyond imagination, powerful. he has everything to lose, and instead of sticking with the status quo, puts his morality of let's do the right thing and changes individually, and it happens painfully, and it happens over time, and it happens with speed bumps, and it happens. Yeah, that's some good shit, man. That makes me like Cassius way more, and that makes me hate Lysander even way more now.
Yeah, Lysander's a little fucking bitch, bro.
Piece of shit.
And that's why I was talking to my buddy Joe about it, about how much I hate Lysander, and then I told him about the way that I think about Cassius, and he was like, "Oh, that makes much more sense. I just thought Lysander was just being a little punk, but the way things play out, it's because Lysander is in the exact same position, and even a better position to do the right thing and affect positive change, and it just doesn't.
Just simply doesn't.
And it's just goddamn, yes. I think
Cassius' character arc is powerful as fuck. I just realized that, especially throughout Dark Age and Lightbringer, and not only his individual character development, but his development with his friendship with Darrow, and how they're super dummy close. They have a bond at first. Crazy incident happens where Cassius finds out that Darrow had to kill Cassius's little brother, who was a fucking good person, and then they have a fucking sworn blood oath of killing each other, and then they're apart for a few books, come back together, and incredible journey.
So their relationship I thought was incredible with all the shit they had to deal with. The way that Morningstar ends, he comes back and kind of has like that mini redemption where he's on Team Darrow, helps him kill the queen, and then takes her son and says it's not right to kill a child. The child hasn't had an opportunity to fuck anything up. We can't kill him. So he takes Lysander and tries to raise him to be...
Abandoned his station for this boy.
Yeah.
Abandoned. He was what's called an Olympic Knight. He had a powerful government position.
Yeah. He could have been probably king of the solar system if he wanted to. He could have been there. It was like, Darrow doesn't want it. You have Mustang. Severo's no shot. You have Mustang there, and Darrow was there. And Cassius was there. So really, it's only Mustang and Cassius that were in a position to... be the sovereign, and he could have done that, but he was like, "Nah, I need to go repent." And so he took the son of the sovereign to try and train him to be a good person and affect positive change, so he can come back and do good things. And he goes on a 10-year redemption of
absolutely incredible. Yeah, gave up every single thing to take care of this boy.
And this kid saw him murder his mom, so he is that's tough.
His grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking gangster, man. All right, so that is our bottom three. So that's your number 3 book, Lightbringer. My third best book in this trilogy is... What is it?
What'd you write down?
Let me check my notes.
You only got 3 to do.
Oh, yeah. So my third best book in this trilogy is Dark Age. So this is an incredibly long book. It's the longest book of the entire series, and this book makes people quit.
Yeah.
This book, I've seen it so many times on the Red Rising subreddit. Dark Age, literally, people post almost on a weekly basis, what do I do? I'm stuck in Dark Age, and I can't find the will to read anymore because it's so heavy, it's so long, it's literal war. It's a book of war, of Darrow having a war on Mercury.
Dark Age perfectly describes this book. It's every point of view character, everybody is getting touched in a bad way.
Everybody's uncle came over for Christmas.
Nobody's having a good time. It's a very dark book, and for me, I don't know what that says about my mental, but I put it as number 1 because I absolutely loved it. I flew through that book. I was gobbling that shit up.
Yeah, it's very good. So this is cracking into my top 3. Dark Age. Darrow's on an epic journey to try to win over Mercury, which are pretty much some of the last strongholds for the society that he's trying to overthrow. And yeah, it's war, it's dying, it's Darrow strung out on stems because he's staying awake for days on end.
It's like
literally flying, literally flying into the battlefront, the front lines to kill. And yeah, everything that not everything, but almost every single thing goes wrong. There's almost no... When reading Dark Age, there is almost no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You're reading it and you're like, yeah, they're just fucked. They're biding their time. They need to be able to do as much damage to the enemy. So hopefully somebody else can pick up the mantle and this rebellion can succeed, because there's no chance that they get out of this.
Say most of the characters, they're like, yeah, we're dead, but we're just gonna do what we can, and then hope pray that somebody else finishes the job. Which, yeah, there's no usually in books a character, something bad happens to the character, they deal with that, and then they overcome it, and now they're better for it. And Dark Age has none of that. It's just fucking getting knocked down and beat down time and time again.
And while you're down, getting kicked.
Yep.
There's some powerful ass moments. So I'm gonna think of a couple powerful ass moments from Dark Age. Has some incredible scenes. We get the glorious scene of what we call Lysander, light resistance loon. This motherfucker Lysander is one POV. The little boy raised by Cassius comes back and is fighting on Mercury, and he is into great detail describing how horrific this war is. Mm-hmm. He is describing the brutality, the desecration, the absolute fucking pure and utter destruction that is happening by Darrow's forces on Mercury, and how it is a living hell on Earth. Mm-hmm. Turn the page. It's Darrow's chapter. This boy Darrow said, we encountered some light resistance at the edge of the storm god. This boy Darrow was absolutely having his way and is a living legend. He is borderline a religious symbol in his battlefield tactics and strategy and ruthlessness. It's just incredible because the first 3 books we have nothing but Darrow, so we kind of understand who he is, but we understand who he is from his own inner monologue and stuff. We don't understand how fucking tough he is and how badass he is from the outside looking in. And that's sort of our first little glimpse into this is other people's experience when crossing paths with Darrow. Yeah. And this dude, literally, Lysander's going on and on about how horrific it is. And then to Darrow, it was another day at the office. It's we've
been doing this.
Yeah, we encountered some light resistance at the edge of the storm god. Moving on, it was literally one. He said we didn't even bother go back to make sure they were all dead. Literally, that was
which
a huge
he should
mistake.
had. He fucking should had.
It was a huge mistake, but to him, there's thousands upon thousands of deaths. How would he know?
Yeah, you get to think like these. Lysander is a gold. He's like cream of the crop, 1% of the 1%. Physically, he's been trained by Cassius, one of the
top razor masters in the solar system.
Yeah, and he sees Darrow coming at him. He's got a squad of, I don't know, it was like 15 or 20, maybe more, 50 soldiers, and it's Darrow and a couple dudes. Lysander thinks he's gonna have his way, and they roll up on Darrow, and Darrow dismantles them.
Burns cuz whole face off.
Yeah,
and stuff.
No issues, and Darrow didn't know it was Lysander under the helmet,
which is crazy, bro. That's such a
Lysander was like, "Oh, this is my chance. I can end the war right here, dude." There was literal 0% chance.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Ajax. Told Lysander, if you hear howling, run. Mm-hmm. He said only the battalion supporting the slave god himself howls, and I was like, dude, that's just so fucking cold, bro. Everything about it is cold, dude. It's just tough. These books are fantastic. They're tough.
I have it as my number one because I think I was another victim of circumstance. I was my reading mood. I just wanted dark, morally gray. I wanted things to not go right for characters. I was tired of reading the happy-go-lucky things. So when I read it and I got all of that, I was like, yeah, this is 100% what I wanted. So that's why I put it at number 1 for me. But fantastic book. If you're in a dark reading mood, get to Dark Age and read that shit. It will fucking knock your socks off.
I might read. So, in preparation for Red God coming out, when we get a release date, I was thinking, okay, I'll reread Lightbringer. I might reread Dark Age and Lightbringer in preparation for Red God. It's so fucking good. There was one more powerful moment I wish I could remember, but yeah, Dark Age, full of power. I
might reread the whole series.
That'd be fucking. You could, a guy like you could do that. I listened to the first 3 in graphic audio, and when I did it, the Iron Gold had the first half out, but it wasn't out. But I know it's out now. I might just do all graphic audio again and then read Red God.
Dude, hopefully the rest of the graphic audio is out for
Red God,
Dark Age, and Lightbringer, and catch up on all that would be fire.
That'd be gangster. Another badass moment is, so you've got Society, which is being led by Atalantia Algrimus at this point in time, has every single thing. Like, for her to not end this rebellion, she shit the bed. Straight up, she shit the bed. Terrible leadership. Couldn't make it happen because everything was stacked against Darrow. Yep. So there's one part where their first thing, she has him pinned down on Mercury. He literally can't leave, can't receive anything, can't leave. They're stuck there. It's a matter of time, but she wants to be tactical and smart because he knows he's a fucking snake. He's a trickster. He's so smart that if she jumps the gun and does something wrong, he's gonna have a plan or a backup plan.
Take advantage of any mistake she makes.
So which is
the mistake.
Which is the mistake. So anyways, all the cards are stacked against him. They finally, Darrow and Atalantia finally meet face to face. It's like a hologram call, whatever. And she says something, and he just laughed in her face, and he said, "I fucked you up, lady." And that shit hit. I was like, this dude running his mouth. He's just so tough. He's everything about. He literally is laughing in her face.
Yeah.
Can you imagine staring down? Like they've got these dreadnoughts that are like 8 kilometers long. These floating warships above you, and you're just laughing in her face. I was like, yeah, he's a gangster.
So tough, dude. Yeah, God, even that whole the second half of the series is so good because you have another thing in Iron Gold. One of the reasons I didn't like it so much is Darrow kind of becomes the bad guy in a way. He the people, the regular people, the Reds, his people see him as, obviously some see him as a living legend, God, savior, but there's some people that are starting to think that they just replace one bad ruler with another.
Yeah.
And Darrow's out here trying to do the thing he thinks is the best. He makes some bad decisions. He gets, they want to, were they trying to execute him or just imprison him, and he just fucking bounces?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not only bounces, he kills the warden. He kills the like head, pretty much think of like the head of the Secret Service who's there to protect and he kills him.
Yep.
Wolfgar. I'm pretty sure Wolfgar, yeah. So yeah, I think that exact thing you described about Darrow's imperfections and all the mistakes he makes as a character.
Just being a bad dad, being a bad husband.
The bad dad in a husband's unforgivable. But I love the sort of growth that his mistakes lead to. If he didn't, I was thinking about it when I was reading and how fucking frustrated I was with Darrow, specifically in Iron Gold. His choice to not open up and come clean to the people running the government that he has set up. He fought for this government to be in place. His wife is the sovereign. His fucking mentor from when he was a Red is one of the main
senators,
Speaker of the House for one of the main populist parties, the Vox Populi. But this dude,
it's like, the people that you started this shit with are now running it. Trust them.
Yeah.
And then
agree or disagree is irrelevant. Yeah. You set it up to be fair and to have a voice. And then when you get a chance to, okay, this is the painfully fucking slow and inefficient, this is how government works. Let it do its thing. He refused. He kept information a secret. And then not only that, they were going to take his ass in, but he knew that he could do more good by not being taken in. So he killed a dude that he shouldn't have killed, who was absolutely an ally of what they're doing. And so he makes literally a half a book of bad choices. And it's so fucking painfully frustrating.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I didn't like it. I was getting back into the series. I wanted some fucking Darrow pop off, and it was just like, I'm getting other characters. Darrow's being a little fuckboy. And I was like, this is bad.
All of that stuff, Kyle, you pissed me off because all of that stuff, I was like, literally, I appreciated it more because it allowed for so much growth. And then you said bad dad, and I'm like, there's no going back.
Yeah.
You fill the sugar walls. You have a kid. You have a fucking obligation. I'm not even joking, bro, because think about this. So he has a son named Pax. Pax didn't act to be there. Pax didn't ask to be put into a situation where his father is leading a rebellion and literally absent for 10 years of his life. And it's like, bro, do you want to have a fucking rebellion and a revolution and mean something in this world and do good for millions of people, or have a family? You did the sugar walls. You went the sugar walls route. Don't get it twisted, brother. I've been caught up myself. But
no, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah, so he had a kid, and that bad dad aspect, absent dad aspect, absolutely there and unforgivable. Yeah. What can you do?
But then even the entire second half of the series, Darrow's on the run. He's Mustang, his wife, his son are on Loon, and he's on the run away. But not once did Darrow, he trusted his wife 100%, and she trusted him, even though like she was disagreeing with them, and I thought it was incredible across vast distances. This love that they started in the first series was unbreakable, and he thought shit was not sweet, and then turns out Mustang kind of like low key saved the day, bought him a little bit of time. Yeah. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, Mustang is the definition of a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Super smart.
She could get it.
Loyal to a fucking unreasonably loyal to this man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
even into
so
a society where loyalty to like your partner isn't necessarily like people
think about tell that to Dido and Romulus.
Yeah.
This dude Romulus is the fucking the sovereign of the Rim unofficially until the rebellion happens. And then, betrayed by his own wife.
Yeah.
For arguably good reasons, too. It's so fucking fascinating.
Yeah. The moral decisions that these characters make, it's... dude, I think about it on a constant basis of... Like, even in the beginning of the series with... why can't I think of his name? Mustang's dad.
Darrow?
Yeah. He's... the moral decision, he's the bad guy, but like when you look at it from a big scope, he was like, I have to make the decisions for the greater good, and that affects small amounts of people in a negative way. Sometimes I'm thinking about humanity as a whole and making sure that we survive, and it's like, fuck, is that the right decision, or is making sure that everything is fair for every single person the right decision? It's such a moral conundrum that I think about all the time,
which is a perfect segue into my second favorite book. So number 3 for me was Dark Age. Number 2, the situation that exactly what Kyle was talking about is from Golden Sun. Mm-hmm. So Darrow, we're introduced to this entire universe, and Darrow and the cast system, we understand.
Which Golden Sun is my second favorite too.
So we understand what Darrow's trying to do. He goes through this academy. Fucking, not only does he excel at the academy, he goes full blown. What's his name? Captain Kirk. Mm-hmm. So there's a famous thing where Captain Kirk, at the end of his schooling or whatever, there's a test that the Star Trek commanders have to do, and the test is literally known. It is impossible to beat. So previously, like the night before, Captain Kirk went in, hacked the computer, made it beatable, beat it the next day. So it's like, well, we are literally thinking outside the box, and this is like a meme in Red Rising of Darrow shifting the paradigm of, so this is unbeatable. You're making me play this to try to beat this game. Let me think outside of that box. And Darrow does stuff at the academy that has literally never been done. There's like Mount Olympus, where the literal gods, the golds overseeing the academy, live, which is up in the sky on a floating mountain. And he literally finds a way to storm Olympus. So he does stuff that's never been done.
Want to fuck with me, I'm going to go fuck with you.
And these are elite, peerless scarred warriors. Yep. And he's just but a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So moving on. So for the first book, we're in this setting one time, and we have way more questions about this world that he lives in, about the rules, about the culture, because we're just stuck with Darrow being just introduced. Golden Sun blows the shit wide open. Golden Sun is right after the academy. He gets
a little bit of time. What's the time skip there? It's like a 2-year time skip.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's a couple years.
He signs. At the end of Red Rising, he allies himself with Darrow,
who is the Arch Imperator. It's his love interest dad, who she hates because he's a bad guy, and he's the Arch Imperator. He's the most powerful man on Mars.
Yeah, and then he goes to the academy to become a commander, Praetorian, whatever. And he's on the ship. There's a 2-year time skip. He makes new friends in that time skip. He makes some new friends. Still has a couple of old friends, and Golden Sun was so much political intrigue, people making decisions on a solar system scale. It's no longer just at the academy on Earth. It's like the decisions that are being made are affecting billions of people. He's one of the most memorable scenes from this series for me happens in this book, where he launches himself out of, puts on an iron suit, launches himself through space into the cockpit of another ship, and it was like the most technological, the toughest ship that had been built,
state of the art,
solo dolo, and there's 70,000 whatever people on this ship, and launches himself into the cockpit, takes that shit over, causes an uprising, and takes the ship by himself.
Incredibly powerful moments, yeah, dude. Because you're talking about you're talking about hundreds of years of culture and just virtual brainwashing. Not even brainwashing is not the right word, but precedent of Gold's fucking ironclad rule of this is how things are. Anybody who speaks up or does anything against this, we're just going to fucking kill you, blah, blah, blah. And he starts to empower people. He literally starts to say, fuck that. You do not have to be a slave. I'm not going to make you be with me. But if you want to be with me, now is the chance where we're going to do this shit. Incredibly powerful moment. Yeah, dude. And he just says, come be with me. It wasn't very many questions after that.
Yeah.
The colors, we're talking about like 12 other colors, rose up. And obviously society crumbles without, you know, the workforce. It crumbles without the blue collar. It crumbles without the people who are actually down there being subjugated to less than ideal living standards. And whenever there's a spark to say, well, you guys have been setting this kindling here the whole time. Spark, Darrow is that spark, lights everything on fire. And just by literally connecting with these other colors, gets what he needs.
There's 70,000 people on this ship, and there are 100 golds. He was like, I have a big red button that'll eject it. He was like, what I'm supposed to do, what the golds teach you at the academy, is I'm supposed to push this button
and blow everybody out in space.
Yeah, eject everybody out in space and kill everybody. I don't want to do that. He was like, I'm gonna unlock the armories. You guys go arm yourselves and kill the 100 golds. And he was like, and you'll be part of my crew, my family. You'll live.
Yep.
Blah 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 blah.
Starts a rebellion right there on the ship.
Right there, dude. It was so tight.
So bro. Gangster. And so at this point in time, they still think he's a gold. Oh, we haven't even really touched on that. Yeah. So they still think he's a gold at this point, and no gold this would never cross their mind to do this. They would take over the bridge of an enemy ship. Boom, hit the button. The ship would be evacuated. That's their property now, seized fair and square.
Yep. Fair and square.
Another scene, Golden Sun. Yeah, so Golden Sun expands the universe, dude, blows it up. We get to see we get to see him dealing with bullshit. He deals with a fucking tiny little rat named Pliny. He just has to deal with shit of like, you're just an inconvenient liar type ass dude that has power because of your position. I've got to contend with this. Well, I'm doing real meaningful shit. You're over here playing games, and still I have to deal with that. He's got another scene where he's like, okay, well, I'm about to lose favor with anything and everything that matters. And pops off in front of everybody.
My honor has been pissed upon.
And calls out Cassius and demands is literally about to. His story in Golden Sun almost ends as quickly as it started because of political fallout. And he fucking takes the reins back, takes things back into his role with an incredibly dramatic scene at a gala. And it fucking gets everybody's attention for hand-to-hand individual redemption combat.
That was fucking tough. Because, he as soon as, he's ends book one, like cream of the crop, #1. Everybody wants Darrow to join their house. And then book two, almost immediately, everything gets ripped away. He ends up...
He loses at the academy.
Yeah, the Sovereign plots against him behind his back. He loses at the academy. He gets fucking jumped by the enemy faction, fucking pissed upon. Literally, they piss on him. They record him. They post it. Everyone, and then his house is like that. You just made us look bad, getting not only losing the academy, but then letting them fucking jump you and piss on you.
Yeah,
incredible. Turns out, he challenges Cassius to a duel. Ends up whooping that ass, which Cassius went to go be a...
Darrow, Cassius was hella excited. He said, hell yeah, duel. Hell yeah, I'm fucking here for this.
I whooped your ass in book one. Come get that round two. Yup. No, dude. Darrow fucking turns out, he said, while you were sleeping, I was training. While you were watching movies, I was training.
While you were beating your meat, I was training. This dude was training with the foremost Razor Master in the entire solar system, Lauren. And he just popped off full beast mode.
So good, dude. And even talking about this shit makes me want to go reread the books again. Because I'm getting to the point in my, when I'm reading, especially when I'm reading good books, and there are things I want to remember. There are, philosophical, moral quotes and dilemmas that characters are dealing with that I want to annotate and write it down and be able to think about and go back to it. Because I've tried to go back through the book to find what I'm thinking about, and I find it almost impossible to I was like, where was this in the book?
Yeah,
it's almost impossible.
And I think by annotating it might help us appreciate it and remember it more. Yeah, for sure. Because these books, like you said, so many quotes, so many powerful ideas and concepts that, given the context of the story, Pierce Brown gets this across. And you're like, fuck, that just gives me goosebumps. How fucking tight that is, and how thought provoking that is, and and yeah, hitting you emotionally, but then shit that you think about for weeks and weeks on end.
Dude, because the past like couple books I've read, like they're good books, but like they're not forcing me to think about my own morality and philosophy and those type of decisions, which Red Rising does on a constant basis. The Sun Eater book series does as well, and it's like I want to go back, reread these, and really study them for what they provide morally, philosophically.
I think because it
religiously,
absolutely. I think because it gives so much on so many different levels. That's why they are so popular and resonate with so many people.
Yeah.
What's your number one book of the Red Rising series?
Number one book is Dark Age. I talked about it a little bit, while we were going through it. It's just, it was nothing goes right, which is not what people typically want in their books. They want to see their heroes, win.
Heroine.
Yeah, but for me, it was such a drastic change. It's I feel like sets up the end of the book incredibly well. What Iron Gold did was switch the perspectives, the structure of the book, and that sets up the story to do that. And I feel like that it was definitely necessary. That needed to happen.
Yeah.
But then Dark Age, everybody gets torn down to literally not even to the ground. They are subsurface right now in Dark Age, and it sets up every character to make their comeback. And it's hard to describe because when I'm thinking about the books and like pacing, like the characters need to hit rock bottom so that their highs, when they do the thing, when they save the day, it will feel better.
Yeah.
It's
a necessary evil.
It was so good, and it has so many memorable scenes from there too. When my boy was reading it, I told him, I said, text me when you get there. And he was like, huh? And then like, I don't know, a couple hours later, he was like, bro, what did I just read?
Yeah.
And if you've read Dark Age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a couple scenes too. He was like, was it this one? I was like, no, that was pretty fucked up. But like, you'll know it. And I was like, when you finish the book and you look back, and you're like, what is one of the craziest scenes from the book? You'll know it. That girl Victor's a bad bitch, bro.
Victor's fucking tight, dude.
Dude, when I was talking to Joe about it, and he was saying, he was like, yeah, that was like graphic and crazy, but he was like, it wasn't really hitting that hard. Didn't really hit that hard for me. And I was like, and then that made me think about, why did that, not that I enjoyed it, but like that scene stuck out so much for me. I was like, I think because when I was reading it, like I had just become a father.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the emotions of being a dad. And I was like, this is like, I'm on Victra time when it comes to my son. Because I've put myself in so many scenarios of, if Cam's in danger, if something happens, like how am I going to respond? What am I going to do? Oh, bro, there's like no questions. I'm on Victra time.
Yeah.
That she's a bad bitch for her.
Dude,
for
that
her
entire, so getting Lyria, so we're talking about from Lyria's POV, she ends up spending a lot of time with one of our characters named Victra, who is Darrow's best friend's wife, and they've got a family together. And this girl, Victra, the shit that she goes through is unfucking real. She's 9 months pregnant, and she's fucking on the lam.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking space, like boarding parties. She's running through the woods, rescuing people out of a mine. Like the shit that she's doing. Just absolutely preposterous, crazy stuff. Running from a terrorist group. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Victra is one of the toughest, most universally loved characters.
Yeah.
But she's still a racist. I literally was thinking about it, and I was like, she comes from old money to an incredibly rich family. I think one of the richest families in the entire solar system. And she's not necessarily loyal to the colors being freed. She's loyal to her family and friends and loves them, and so loyal to those individual people that because their motivation and goals are to free the colors, that she by proxy does that. Yeah. She doesn't believe in that, but she's with them, and her husband is a half red too. So I was
gonna say, how can you be racist when you're with one?
Yeah,
and her best, arguably one of her best friends, Darrow, is a red too, and she like it doesn't matter. I don't know, but I get what you're saying. Like she's not for the cause, she's for her people, and when she's for
like, she complains about the unionization of the workers of her companies and stuff, and she's like, "Well, I could just go there and literally fucking murder a few of them," and it's like, dude, you can't just say that, bro. But she is unapologetically herself, which is a bad bitch, and when you're a bad bitch, you're a bad bitch. And I'm like, I would still,
Darrow is a better man than I.
Yeah, Darrow spurred her advances multiple times. I was like, no, dog, chill, dog.
Yeah, Victor is tough. Yeah, and she she's 9 months pregnant, and we'll just get into the scene. She's stranded on Mars,
It's
right?
on Mars, yeah.
On Mars. She's stranded on Mars with Lyria, just a regular red, and what's her name? The Obsidian.
Volga.
Yeah. Volga is just
and taken prisoner down into the mine.
Yeah, but before that, they're stranded. They're in a house. She ends up giving birth to her kid
by herself, standing up in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, and in another just Red's home that she just barged into. It was like, this is my shit now.
Yeah.
And then they get found out like next day when Victor, was she asleep or where was she at?
The Lyria was seeing all kinds of signs that she knew shit that she was looking for, but
But that's what I'm saying is, how'd they get the baby? Where'd Victor go? I can't remember. They
were in the woods.
Whatever. Anyways, bad guys find them and kill the baby and pin it to a tree.
Nail it to a tree upside down.
Yeah, which is absolutely horrific.
A literal newborn.
Yeah, fresh out the womb. Still,
fuck, bro.
hadn't even gotten bathed yet.
Yeah, that whole series of events of Victor's baby being killed will fuck you up.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
It was horrific. I think the worst things I've ever read.
Yeah.
But then she's on demon time to go get the killers. What they were there to do, their whole like goal gone. She's just out for revenge, out for blood to go get the bad guys that killed their baby.
And she'll do it or she will die.
Yeah, and she'll do it or die. And that is tough, dude.
She's hella tough.
Fucking tough. Not to break down and be emotional until afterwards. Spoiler, she does it, and then she fucking just vanishes into the sea. And does she come back? Does she not? I don't know.
Yeah. Very cool little story arc. My favorite book from the entire series, but that is Dark Age summed up.
Yeah.
That's Dark Age summed up, dude. It's fucking grim. My favorite book from the entire series is Iron Gold, book 4. The first book after the original trilogy, the first book. And we go from getting Darrow for 3 books to getting 4 different characters in Iron Gold. And I loved Iron Gold for the same reason that I loved Golden Sun. There are so many questions about this world that Darrow in his goal, in the setting in which his goal is taking place. What are the actual obstacles? Because when you have such a myopic view of the world, it's easy to be Team Darrow. It's easy to always just have our protagonist and want what he wants and blah, blah, blah. It's easy to be aligned. When you get a bigger picture and you see how complicated things actually are, you get a picture from, we get a POV from a Red who was just released out of a mine and has nothing to do with any kind of rebellion. She's just trying to live her life. You get a POV from a Gray who gets intertwined into the whole thick of things. You get into, and then you get another Gold's POV from Lysander, who was saved by Cassius. And then seeing these storylines come apart, you get to introduce to so many different aspects of their world, and it kept a good pace. You get to see that Darrow is not always a good guy. Not all the Reds love Darrow. They fucking blame him for uprooting their lives. And even though
it was better in the mines,
even
left us oblivious.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, we're slaves down in the mine, or we come up to the surface and are literally getting killed by the townful because of this war that they've perpetuated. They don't want to be a part of it. So it's just like the moral ambiguity of what is the right thing to do. And those different perspectives, I think, added so much depth, realism, and value to the story. Going from just Darrow into Iron Gold, I think Iron Gold it definitely holds up. And then you get even things like when we get introduced to Ephraim, you get like just simple things like he's going into a store to buy like gear for a job that he's about to go on, and you're like, whoa, this is like, I don't know, you just get completely new settings. We're not at war right now, we're not down in a mine, we're just out in a city at like a tech shop. Just cool things like that. And I thought the different POVs added a lot of perspective.
I do, and I think it definitely does for me, it was Lyria, Ephraim in the beginning, and Iron Gold. I could not care less who these people were.
I think about this is what happens. So I've seen so many movies that have happy endings that I'm literally like, okay, it has to end there because this is happily ever after, blah blah blah. But I am always so curious of, okay, we just worked so hard for all of this that now I don't get to see anything about, okay, what happens now?
Yeah.
And that's what Iron Gold did for me. Okay, Darrow, literally the whole point of the trilogy comes to an amazing conclusion at the end of Morningstar. So it's like, yeah, we worked so hard to get here. And okay, good, the story's not over. I get to see what happens now. And this in Iron Gold is Darrow getting to deal with all the things that he actually fought to deal with. The problems don't end. The problems pick up exactly where we knew they would pick up, because even during the original trilogy, Mustang and his friends are literally asking him, what happens next? Like, you think you're going to do this whole thing? Okay, say everybody, all the slaves get liberated, all the colors get liberated. What happens next? The gold rule happened for a reason, and that was to provide stability and security. And even though they were enslaved, they had stability and security. And they were saying, once you get what you want, which is the liberation of all the colors, what happens next? In the next trilogy, specifically starting in Iron Gold,
he didn't have an answer.
He didn't have an answer.
I don't know. That's what I need you guys for. He said, that's what I need Mustang for. That's what I need my friends to help me figure this out, because I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. That's why I liked Iron Gold. Yeah. But Dark Age.
That's what I'm saying. But all the books are fire, man. And they're all very in the scope of books, all very, very good. And I don't think I gave any book less than like, I think Iron Gold is my lowest ranking, and I gave that like 4.5, 4.8, like so close to.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, I think a 3 star is just a good book. Like, it's a good book. 5 stars is, and that's what I'm saying. If I go back and reread Iron Gold, I'll probably just give it a 5 stars because I know what to expect. I was so I took like a 6-7 month skip. All I wanted was Darrow, and then I got like a bunch of things that I wasn't necessarily interested in or wanted, and so it was just a victim of happenstance. But then, like you said, Iron Gold's your favorite. I'm pretty sure Joe Hickman says Iron Gold's his favorite too.
Yeah.
But he read it, immediately read Morningstar, and then immediately into Iron Gold. So
yeah, I think they all have their value, but it's incredible series beginning to end. Honestly, I've never been so emotionally invested in books. I cannot wait for Red God to come out. I've seen him do the conclusion with Morningstar. I keep pointing up here because the books are right over here for me. You can't see him on camera, but I keep pointing up there. He wrapped everything up so nicely in Morningstar, and he has said that he doesn't want to be in a Pierce Brown, the author, has said he doesn't want to be in a rush with Red God because he doesn't want to let us down. And I'm okay with that, dude. I respect
so hard.
The more books I read, the more I respect the gangster of a good author, dude. How fucking how thoughtful to come out with these stories that keep you interested and entertained, and then stick with you for months on end, having you question things about the characters. And then you have to remind yourself, okay, these are fake characters. This is words on a page. He's
got so many characters. The cast of characters is so large now.
Yeah.
That you have to wrap up the endings for every character.
Yeah.
And, so for a lot of them, not happy endings. There's, Ephraim gets got in Dark Age.
Yep.
They just kill him off. Quicksilver bounces.
But he redeemed himself. Ephraim redeemed himself and then died. And
and his story ends in a good way, but he's got to do that for essentially all the characters that we love and care about.
Yeah.
And because some of them aren't really necessarily tied to Darrow as
directly.
Cassius gets got. They writes him off in a fucking. I hate that I love the way that it had to go down. It had to go down for it to be that good. It had to go down that way for it to be that good.
Yeah, Cassius absolutely died the hero.
Yeah.
Yep. He redeemed himself completely and wholly and stood on business, and then and I mean, for a book to be able to affect us that much is fucking good. Yeah. Can't wait for Red God.
So just recap here from my list is Iron Gold, Red Rising, Morningstar, Lightbringer, Golden Sun, Dark Age.
Solid list. There is no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's really not. It's like you put my least favorite as your favorite, and I'm not even mad about it.
I feel like that makes sense. My least favorite, number 6, is Morning Star, and then Red Rising, and then Lightbringer, then Dark Age, then Golden Sun, then Iron Gold.
No.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy that your least favorite and my favorite are the same.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. This, if you can't tell, we love Red Rising. If you haven't read it, go check it out. We're going to do a very similar video. We'll hopefully be able to refine the formatting a little bit, figure out what we wanted to do, what we liked about this one, and what we want to do the next one. I have a book and a half to read in the Dungeon Crawler series. I'm on halfway through book 6 right now. I'm going to finish reading the Eye of the Bedlam Bride and then read The Inevitable Ruin. Yep. And then we will do a very similar episode with the Dungeon Crawler, because you talk about some fucking good books, dude.
Those are right up there too. And those snuck up on me, man.
Yeah.
Unlike, which I'm not mad about, unlike Red Rising, where I was hooked on from book 1 with both.
For different reasons.
Different way. Red Rising had this like moral, philosophical rebellion, change the paradigm vibe. Dungeon Crawler Carl was just, it was fun. I was laughing. It was just a good time. And then it snuck its way into being almost like the same thing of changing the paradigm, fuck the system. The characters making moral decisions on a galactic scale. It's an absolutely incredible series.
Yeah. So we're going to do a full episode on that. Stay tuned. Let us know your thoughts. If you've read Iron Gold, where was your ranking? What do you think about the quality of the books and how much you enjoyed them? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Love. Bye.